people, you always come in first. All right. So we are going to get ready to go live and talk about having a healthy Ramadan. Yes, we are. We are getting ready to talk about Ramadan. It's almost here, Ramadan. Okay, I will sing. Okay. Welcome. We are getting ready to talk about Ramadan. We are going to talk about having a healthy Ramadan as soon as I figure out how to work with Facebook. All right. So if you have any questions, I'm going to spend maybe about 30 minutes online. So if you have any questions about exercise during Ramadan, we are going to keep this live specifically for exercise. That's what we're going to do. Just give me a couple minutes to get my Facebook people together. Hey, Insta people. Suad, Tima, peaceful families. Welcome to the live. Let's talk. Sauda, welcome to my live. We are talking about working out. So I keep getting this question over and over again in DMs and in comments about working out during Ramadan. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about when is the best time to work out, what are the best workouts to do, and how to use Ramadan as a way to maintain your weight or lose weight, even though I know that's not the purpose. I know. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. And we are going to talk about, so we're going to talk about those things, and that's going to take up enough time. And then I am going to go into some of the other topics that we'll talk about later. I know everybody don't have all day for me to talk, and I can talk all day. So I'm going to try to break this up into several lives, giving you an indication and the title of the live, what we're going to talk about. So as soon as I get my Facebook people here, my computer decides that it wants to act super, super slow. So feel free. Wa alaikum salam. I'm glad that I inspire you, Sauda. Wa alaikum salam. Shahid Youssef. Yes. All right. You know, it takes a minute on Instagram because the names are all smashed together. So, so we are talking about, so Shahid, you just tuned in. Today I'm going to talk about how to have a healthy Ramadan, and we are talking about exercise today. And hopefully we can get to it as soon as my Facebook. Everything wants to act great except for Facebook. My Facebook page is not cooperating with me. So give me like 2 minutes, and if it continues not to cooperate, there we go. Awesome. I think I'm here. Right? Okay. So I am on Instagram. I am on Periscope. We are on YouTube. If you don't follow me on all the platforms, you better make sure that you go follow me. Okay, I see what I was doing. So you can find me everywhere as Fit Muslimah, FITMUSLIMAH. And I think we are here. All right. We are starting. I'm trying a new platform today. All right. So, let me move a little bit. We are going to talk about how to have a healthy Ramadan. Ramadan is about 2.5 weeks. Sauda, I will talk about the ketogenic diet in Ramadan, but I will not talk about that today. So I know that there are a lot of things that people have questions about and are curious about, and want to make Ramadan an opportunity for them to either maintain healthy eating and exercise that they have already started, or to use it as an opportunity to enhance it. And so that is going to be several topics. So I'm going to be going live several days over the next week or so to talk about different topics. So, but today we are specifically talking about exercise, because that is the most common question that I have been getting. Of course, every year during this time, I get lots and lots of questions. If you are just tuning in because of the title and you don't know who I am, my name is Mubaraka Ibrahim, and I am a health and happiness coach. And you can find me everywhere if you just look up Fit Muslimah, FITMUSLIMAH. I am talking from a position of as a health and fitness professional. So I have about 13 fitness and nutrition certifications, as well as a bachelor's degree in exercise science and public health. So I'm going to give you the science of it, and I always talk with a combination of what is practical and what the science tells us, because we have the advantage of living in a time where we can actually research. I mean, we have decoded DNA, so there's no reason why we have to play a guessing game about our health and nutrition. I believe in hacking our health and hacking our lifestyles so that it can be the most beneficial for us as we age, as we go for health goals, fitness goals, as we do all of that. So let's talk specifically about working out. So when it comes to working out, a lot of people ask, should I work out during Ramadan? So let's use that question first. Should you work out during Ramadan? If you currently work out, then yes, you should continue your regular workout routine, maybe with some modifications, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, right? Should you work out during Ramadan? If you do not work out now, do not use Ramadan as an opportunity for you to do a crash dieting, crash workout plan. That is a bad idea. Don't do that. There's a couple of reasons. One, fasting puts an additional stress and strain on your body. And if you add that on top of completely changing your diet and exercise regimen, then you can sabotage your fast. So we know that the purpose of Ramadan for Muslims is for spiritual health, right? So the physical benefits that we get is kind of like the icing on the cake, keto-friendly cake, made from almond flour and monk fruit frosting. So maybe some stevia frosting. I'm just joking. So this is not a good time for you to start an exercise program. However, if you have already started, then yes, you can continue to work out during the month of Ramadan. When you are talking about working out, now let's talk about specifically about what your goals are. So there is workouts. I'm going to talk to people who may be veteran workouts. So you go hard at the gym 5 days a week, right? You're doing cardio and resistance training, and you are wondering if you should continue to do that during the month of Ramadan. My answer is yes, with some modifications. So there's a couple of things that you have to be really clear on is what your goal is, and how fasting is going to affect your, not just your energy level, but also the way that your body is going to recover from your workouts. So we're going to talk about two types of exercises. We're going to talk about cardio exercises, and we're going to talk about resistance training. So when I say cardiovascular exercises, those are aerobic exercises. So technically aerobic exercises mean that it requires oxygen, right? So you're talking about running, walking, swimming, Zumba class, step class, those types of things that gets your heart rate up. You're not using weight, you're just using your body, and you're moving really fast. You're using the elliptical at the gym. You may be doing, incline on the treadmill. It doesn't matter. If it's cardiovascular, then it is considered cardio. Now, In my opinion, when you're doing cardiovascular exercise, you can continue to do it, and you can do it any time of day, right? Most people who do cardio, you're doing a steady state exercise, which means your heart rate is up for a prolonged period of time. You're not using resistance training. You're not doing interval training. That type of exercise, in my opinion, you really can do that any time of day. But we're going to talk about 4 specific times. So there is before suhoor, after suhoor, before iftar, and after iftar. So we are going to consider those 4 times and talk about what's going to happen with your body if you exercise at those different times. So let's talk particularly about before suhoor, right? So technically, it would be a great time to work out. Practically, it's probably not a good time to work out. I mean, where I am, I'm going to be waking up at like 3:30 to make suhoor. And I really doubt if I'm going to get up at 2:30 to work out, which would have to be in my home because my gym is closed. But so that is not going to be very practical. But when you consider what you need for your body to do cardio, so one, this is the reason why I say you can do cardio. And I would say, nope, I'm going to backtrack. See, this is why you're going to have to watch the whole video because I might backtrack on it. When you exercise, when you do cardio, if your goal is to lose weight, then you want to do cardio on an empty stomach. So in general, even outside of Ramadan, I recommend fasted cardio, which means you have not eaten within 4 hours of doing your cardiovascular exercise. So if you're going to do cardio, you do it early in the morning on an empty stomach. That is the best way for you to burn fat. The reason is because your body is more likely to tap into your fat stores as opposed to using the food that you just ate, the energy from the food, as part of your energy during your workout, and then you're not actually tapping into fat stores. And just as a side note, and this is inside of Ramadan or outside of Ramadan, your workout needs to be, if your goal is weight loss, your workout cannot be less than 20 minutes. We know that you don't begin to even tap into fat stores until the 20-minute mark. So you need to be working out longer than that, right? Or if you're doing HIIT training, it has to be at a 20-minute interval for weight loss. So that's a side note. The other thing that I wanted to, so the other thing is, so cardio before suhoor will work out really well because you haven't eaten in more than 4 hours. Cardio after suhoor, technically you could do it. It's not the best time to do it because you are working with food in your stomach. So here is a key in helping you to decide what is best for you. So I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I'm not going to tell you what time you should work out. I'm going to give you the science, and we're going to talk about the practicality, and then you can decide what time fits inside of your schedule. So me personally, I have not even decided which time is going to be practical for me. So I'm thinking about all of the science. So ideally, when you do cardio or resistance training, you do not want to do that after you've eaten, because when you eat, your body diverts blood flow to your digestive system. And when it diverts the blood flow to your digestive system, it is taking it from other parts of your body. When you work out, when you work out. When you eat, did I say that? When you eat, your body diverts blood flow and adds more flow to your digestive system so that you can process your food. When you work out, your body diverts blood flow to the muscles that you're working so they can work more efficiently. If your body is trying to compete between sending blood to your digestive system and sending blood to your muscles, then you're not doing either one really efficiently. So that is what you have to consider when you think about your working out after you eat, after suhoor or after iftar. right? You still are digesting food. And it takes a while for food to digest. So, for example, it takes about 4 hours for chicken to digest, to get it out of your stomach, right? It takes about 2 hours for fish to digest. Takes about 30 minutes for grains to digest. So it takes time for your body to digest your food so that it no longer needs that additional blood flow. So think about that when it comes. Now, if the option is either I work out after suhoor or work out after iftar, or I'm not going to do it at all, then of course I'm always going to opt for you to just do it. Go ahead and do it anyway. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind. So I would say for cardio, when we think about our 4 times, before suhoor is ideal, even though it's not practical. And before iftar is ideal, even though, I don't know, maybe practical, may not. Probably depends on how many kids you have, to be honest. Right? If you're responsible for cooking and doing everything, then that may not work out for you. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is, what if you're doing resistance training? So when I say resistance training, I mean if you're doing a body pump class at the gym, if you're lifting weights, if you're doing HIIT training, all of those things, whether it's body weight training on the machines or using dumbbells or using resistance bands, all of that is anaerobic exercise. So the purpose of anaerobic exercise is to activate your muscles, to get your muscles stronger, to get them bigger, to create more tone. All of those are, results of working your muscles. So this requires another consideration besides the fact of the blood in the digestive system. You need to consider that every time that you are working your muscles, your body requires protein in particular to rebuild the muscle within about a 2-hour window of doing that. So again, before suhoor is probably ideal, but not that practical, right? After suhoor is not so ideal. You can technically, eat suhoor and then go work out, but again, you're not doing either one really efficiently because your blood is pulled. You're not going to be able to get a great workout in because your blood flow is not going to be completely directed towards your muscles. And your food may take longer to digest because you've just eaten, and it also doesn't have complete blood flow. So that may not be the best time for you to do resistance training. And then considering that you should take in a meal within 2 hours of your resistance training session, you can't eat for the rest of the day. So not only are you not eating within 2 hours, you're not eating for another maybe 15 hours, right? So that is probably not going to be the best time for you to do a workout. I would say, again, if your goal is like, I just have to do something or I'm not going to be able to do it, keep it really light, right? Don't put your muscles under duress, meaning trying to lift the heaviest that you've ever lifted, or you're trying to, your goal is muscle gain. Working out while you're fasting, doing resistance training while you're fasting can actually make you lose muscle. Because when your body, so this is what happens when you're doing resistance training. Your body creates little tears inside of your muscle, right? And that's kind of part of the soreness. And so the muscle fibers themselves split apart, and more muscle grows to fit in between that. Now, if I'm taking in protein after my workout, my muscles is going to grab those amino acids from the chicken, the protein shake, the beef, the whatever I ate, the egg, and it's going to use those amino acids to fill in all of those little tears in my muscles to create bigger, stronger muscles. Well, if I'm doing a really heavy leg day, and I'm not eating for 15 hours, my body is going to say, wow, I need protein now, so I'm not getting it through consumption. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go steal some protein from the arm muscles, or I'm going to steal some protein from her core muscles because it's going to get its protein by hook or crook. So that means either you're going to give your muscles the protein, or it's going to go steal it from another muscle, right? And you don't want that to happen. So what happens is you may say, oh, but I feel strong and I can do that. But what happens is by the end of the month of Ramadan, you will be weaker than you was when you started. So you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to deteriorate the muscle that you work so hard to gain. So doing resistance training early in the day and not being able to eat afterwards is not a good idea, and I do not suggest it. Now, the next time, let's consider what happens if you are working out right before iftar. The practicality of that is really by individual. If you're the type of person that you tend to get a second wind in the afternoon, so I'm that type of person. Like midday, I might start slumping, but I'll get my second wind later on in the afternoon. So if you can get a second wind and you can go out there and you can pump out a great workout and you're going to be breaking fast within 2 hours of you ending your workout, then go for it. That would be a great time for you to work out if you're going to do it right before iftar. Now, after iftar, you're back to that same scenario of doing it kind of right around the time that you're eating, right? So if you're eating and then you're going to work out, then you have your muscles and your digestive system. They're going to be fighting for blood flow. You need blood flow. Remember, your blood flow is not just for the energy, it is the nutrient highway. Your body gets all of its nutrients through the blood system. So you want to make sure that that is always as efficient as you can get it. So after iftar, if you wait a few hours and allow your body to digest, which is going to be kind of hard because here I don't think we're breaking fast until like 7:30. I don't think I want to do a workout at like 10 o'clock at night, right? So, I don't have any kids left at home, so I'm not restricted in my time. If I needed to work out at 10 o'clock, I could. But for a lot of people, that's not practical. So you have to decide what's practical for you and for your lifestyle. Adisa, I'm glad that you tuned in right after your workout. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. So if anybody has any questions around working out during the month of Ramadan, make sure that you ask them. I can see questions on Instagram. I can see questions on Facebook. Unfortunately, I'm also on YouTube, but I can't see YouTube questions live. I'll go back and answer them after I'm done with the video. If you know somebody that can benefit from this, that needs to know this information, please do me a favor. Go ahead and tag them inside of the comments. Share this video on your wall, inside of a healthy eating group that you may be in, inside of a healthy Ramadan group that you may be in. Even on Facebook, you can have a watch party and you can invite your friends, because this is really important information. I don't think a lot of people know the what's the best time, because this is like one of the number one questions that I get really often. All right, so when it comes to resistance training, so practically you have to decide what works for you. You want to keep two things in mind. You want to keep in mind that you are giving your food enough time to digest, so your muscles and your digestive system is not competing for blood flow. And number two, you want to make sure that you're able to eat something within 2 hours of your workout. We used to think that it was about an hour, but now we know that you can go a little bit longer, but no more than 2 hours, 2 hours max. So what happens inside of that 2 hour window, and why do we recommend that you actually eat within 2 hours of your workout? So in research about nutrient timing, what we found is that, or what researchers found, was that if you take in protein within that time window, within a 2 hour, 90 minutes to 2 hours, all within that, your body will use 90% of the protein to rebuild the muscles. All of those muscle tears that I was telling you about, that it will take 90% of the amino acids and use it for those muscles. If you wait longer than that, you're not eating for 4 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours in some cases, if you decide to do a resistance training workout in the morning, and then you say, well, now I'll have my protein shake. Your body is only going to use about 10 to 15% of that consumed protein. So you're going to get a much more efficient way for your body to replenish and repair itself. So what happens when your body is not repairing itself? And so here is a tip that you can use to self-monitor whether or not you need to change your schedule during the month of Ramadan, right? So we may start off with, okay, well, it's practical for me to work out during this time of the day, and this is going to work for me. And then a week and a half into the month, you feel extremely fatigued. Or even if you don't have fatigue, you're like, I'm sore for days. I'm just always sore. That's your body not getting enough nutrients to replenish that muscles. If you're finding that is an issue that you're running into, that you're just sore much longer than you normally are, then you want to scale back on your workouts. So one thing that you should definitely not do during the month of Ramadan is plan for it to be a month of exponential gain. It's just really not going to happen. You're going a large chunk of your day. We are still in long days. More than half of our day, we're not consuming any type of food. So you can't, and this is what my stickler this year is, you are not a whale. We don't have reserved stomachs. Don't try to overeat at iftar to try to make up for the fact that you didn't eat lunch, or overeat at sahur because you're trying to make up the fact that you're not going to eat during the day. I have a couple of tips for you for things that you eat, and we're going to talk about that on another live. Things that you can eat that is going to help you stay sustained and full longer, but don't think that overeating is going to compensate for that. It's not. All right. So Janice, thank you for your question. I mentioned that earlier inside of the live. So after we are all done, maybe you can go back and listen to the entire live. So we talked specifically about, so we're talking about 4 times during the day. I broke down before suhoor, after suhoor, before iftar, after iftar. Those are the 4 times that people have to consider of working out. When you are trying to sustain your muscle, you want to make sure that you are working out in a way that is going to be heavy enough for you to feel like you've had some resistance, but not so heavy that it's going to leave you sore for days. During Ramadan, you kind of want to avoid that super sore feeling. And that may be really hard for people like us who was really used to going to the gym and going hard. Don't feel discouraged or like you are a punk because before Ramadan you could bench press 100 pounds and now you're only bench pressing 75. That's completely normal. We're going more than half of our day without any type of food or sustenance or water, so it's okay for you to scale back. Don't try to push yourself to become stronger and faster. If you already exercise, your goal in Ramadan should be to maintain your fitness level. Don't try to push it hard. And I have to say, I'm going to be transparent here. This is really hard for me because 2 weeks after Ramadan is over, I have an obstacle course race. And then a month after Ramadan, I'm doing a Spartan Super, which is an 8-mile race with 25 obstacles. And so Ramadan is going to be a sacrifice in my training schedule because I really do need to push my fitness level, but I know I'm not going to be able to do that in Ramadan. I'm just going to have to go hard as soon as Ramadan is over, really. When you are looking at, so when you're looking at people who already go hard, you lift weights 3-4 times a week, you do cardio 3-4 times a week, you're working out hard almost every day, you want to make sure that during the month of Ramadan you're just trying to maintain. So what I would suggest for you to maintain, for weightlifters, you want to decrease your weight and increase your reps. That is going to continue to allow you to maintain your conditioning. It will help you maintain your endurance. It's not going to give you more muscle, but that's okay, because that's not our goal in Ramadan. We want to maintain the muscle that we have. You want to, I know we're going to talk about nutrition on another live, but you also want to make sure that you're eating enough protein so that when you do eat, you have enough protein to sustain the muscles that you have. When you are trying to lose weight during Ramadan, so let me say this. Alhamdulillah, Ramadan is kind of like a way for us. You can lose weight during this month. Muslims don't tend to lose weight during this month, pretty much because we just eat too much and we enjoy each other's company too much. But it's perfectly designed for you to be in ketosis. So when you hear other people talk about, oh, during Ramadan, your body is burning fat as fuel, that is ketosis. They just don't want to say ketosis because they don't follow a ketogenic diet, but it's ketosis. I actually posted this morning on Facebook that ketosis is so beneficial that Allah built it into our religion. How about that? That's awesome. So, again, that's an entire another live, but ketosis is when your body uses all of its liver glycogen stores and it begins to convert your fat into ketones and use that as energy. That happens to everybody once you go about 10 to 12 hours without eating. So it happens automatically. It's not some special food that you eat or some special thing that you have to do. People who follow a ketogenic diet, they just adjust their diet so they maintain that natural ketosis. But every human being, every mammal actually, will enter into ketosis after going 10 to 12 hours without eating. So for people like us, like where I am, where we're going to be fasting probably 15, 16 hours a day, by the time you break fast, everyone will be in ketosis. The thing about, so here are some of the benefits that can help your workout is we know that when people enter into ketosis, their testosterone level goes up, not in a bad way, but up enough that it's actually going to help propel your muscle building. So that's a good thing. But again, you have to balance that with making sure you're eating lots of nutrient-dense foods that you need for your goal. So when it comes to weight loss in Ramadan, don't use Ramadan as a crash diet. If you haven't started your program yet, then don't start in Ramadan, right? If you need a program, you can arrange a call with my discovery team, and I can help you with that. I'll put the link inside of the comments, and I can help you develop one. But if your goal is to lose weight during Ramadan, really just adopting some healthy eating habits is going to get you there. You're already in a natural state of ketosis by the time you break fast. The problem that people have is that when they break fast, they eat everything in sight. We have to stop doing that. Just because it's a potluck at the masjid doesn't mean that you have to taste every single thing on the table. Eat a regular portion. It also doesn't mean you need to pile your plate on. Always be conscious that you are going to be hungry at iftar, and as my mom used to say, your eyes are going to be bigger than your stomach. Most of the time, we overeat at iftar. And that's the reason why people gain weight. Not only do we overeat, but we are more likely to eat things that are not a part of our regular diet, right? Because we eat at the masjid where other people cook. people we don't know, people we don't normally eat from. We tend to have more desserts during that month, right? So all of these things are things that contribute to weight gain during the month. But if you maintain healthy eating, meaning that you're breaking fast with a regular size plate, right? If you don't normally get seconds, then there should be no reason why you absolutely must have second and thirds during Ramadan. That is where you sabotage your weight loss efforts, right? So you can continue whatever program that you are on, or even if you're starting now, right? You still got almost 3 weeks before Ramadan starts. You can start something now and you can continue it during Ramadan, and that's absolutely fine. Just be really conscious of that you're eating according to your goal. Now, so we talked about weight loss. We talked about maintaining what you're doing. We talked about cardiovascular exercise versus resistance training, and the practicality and the science of exercising before suhoor. I have some notes on the board, that's why I'm looking over here. And the practicality of exercising before suhoor, after suhoor, before iftar, or after iftar. So, if you have any questions, I will be checking the questions underneath the videos and I will get back to you. Make sure you share this video, you tag somebody who would benefit from it. And inshallah, I will talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to come on live tomorrow at 10 a.m. So mark your calendars, and we will talk about nutrition tomorrow, right? We'll talk about how should you eat to lose weight during Ramadan, and how should you eat to maintain the gains that you've made in your diet thus far, and what are some of the things. I have some really good tips for you on things that you can eat that's going to keep you full longer in your day, right? You're going to eventually get hungry. There's nothing that you're going to eat that's going to keep you full for 15 hours. But there are things that you're going to eat that's going to keep you full a lot longer than just having some eggs and pancakes for breakfast. All right? So I will talk to you soon. And I'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.